Morning or good afternoon, even good evening on this Monday. What's an absolute stormer of a Monday after an absolute blistering Sunday afternoon. I know you done the watch along, Darius. I was at the ground, and as you can see from hear from my voice is gone. So welcome to Sid Says. I'll try and not speak as much as I can because I can't speak that much.
It's okay, Sid. I'm here to take over the reins and responsibilities if you need so. But I feel like you'll be able to survive for the 20-30 minutes that we're on here.
Yeah, absolutely. Should be able to. I've got 5 players for you today, Darius. I've not heard of a couple of them, but I had to do my research, and hopefully between the two of us, we should be able to give Paratici, Hitchens, and Daniel Levy a couple of players to go for.
Well, they've been waiting for this video. You know that they've been waiting for the Sid Says video because they're not quite sure. You know, Paratici's got about 10, 20 links, and he's not quite sure who to go for. So we'll give him a bit of help.
Yeah, let's put it out there. Let's put the what's that word? Let's put that little bit of a brightness out there for him and give him an example. The main man of the topic that it is headlining, I'm going to leave him for the time being. But first and foremost, Pau Torres. We've been linked with him in the last week or so. I don't know if you're information-wise, the latest is he's rejected us because he wants Champions League football. So this is Pau Torres, Villarreal centre-back, left-footed, 6'2", 45 million, 24 years old. People might have seen him in the Euros, and he also went to the Olympics, if I might be correct.
Believe so.
Yeah, I like him.
I think he's one of those players where it's more of a, you don't look at the price that they've been offered or that we'd have to pay, because first of all, he has a release clause, so you're gonna have to pay a lot of money anyway. But when you have sort of players like Pau Torres who complement your partner in centre back that you've just purchased quite well, almost perfectly actually, where he's sort of he's much more reserved. He's much more of a, I would like to say, I don't want to say intelligent, because I think Christian Romero is an absolutely genius of a centre back to be able to intercept so many. But I just think that Pau Torres is a little bit more reserved in the sense that he's not going to technically or typically go for the interceptions. He's going to look for a good pass. He's going to position himself well that the ball's not going past him. He's going to be the one that's going to be a little bit less aggressive. That's the word I'm looking for. And Cuti Romero can be the guy who's going to clean up around him. So I think if it's something that Paratici and Nuno really want to go for and like shore up our defense 100%, because we've obviously lost Toby, and I think that do you think we'll probably lose another centre back? We might see Sanchez go. He had a great game against Man City, so you never know, they might give him a chance. But I think that this sort of the expense of the sort of transfer and Pau Torres coming in really depends on whether Davinson Sanchez goes, because he's the only centre back that I can imagine has a little bit of value close to Pau Torres. And if Pau Torres doesn't want to come to Tottenham at the end of the day, I think we should probably spend our money somewhere else, because I can see now that Nuno's really building a team that wants to fight and go for everything. So you want every single player committed. You want every single player to give 100%. So I think Pau Torres for the team would be a great addition, but you have to consider the fact that he's not obviously desperate to come, and also that it's going to be an expensive signing. And do you maybe think that we probably have other positions that we have to maybe strengthen more than a centre back, since we've already paid 50 million for one? Or like some people say, we should be getting 2 world-class centre backs, and it's really up to what you think, isn't it?
See, the problem is as well is like you said, Sanchez and Dyer had good games yesterday. Both of them had good games yesterday. Tanganga now, obviously, right back. He has to play right back. Defence centre back, as an option, as if we need to, then yes. But he has to play right back. And the other thing as well is £45 million. He's young, 24 years old. 44 appearances last season, 3 goals, 2 assists, 3 yellow cards, and his contract doesn't run out till 2024. So Villarreal are not going to be in a rush to sell him. 45
They're in the Champions League as well, aren't they? So he's obviously got that ahead of us as well.
And I think that's one of the main reasons he's rejected us, is because he wants Champions League football. If you are Torres, then obviously you're going to hold out for Champions League position. They're not in a rush to sell. As much as, like you said, he'd be a really good asset to play alongside Romero, I totally agree with you. Is he somebody that we desperately need, or is there maybe better options out there, or not better options, but somebody who's cheaper who might do just as good of a job
that's the point.
with Romero next to them?
And there's some people out there as well. I mean, I've heard the links with Nikola Milenkovic are seeming to come back towards Tottenham. I know that West Ham probably are still involved, but again, 15 million. Oh, they're out. Exactly. So 15 million euros. I mean, he has a very similar. I think he's got 3 inches on Pau Torres. And Pau Torres looks like a lanky guy. He looks a lot taller than 6'2", in my opinion. But
I know.
Nikola Milenkovic is something. I think Nikola Milenkovic is like 6'5", 6'4". So he's a real. They're the bigger of the two centre backs, because Romero is not overly tall. So you probably do want a bigger centre back. But like you said, there are cheaper options out there, and I think that we do need to spend the money somewhere else, especially if a certain number 10 is going to leave our club. So
I mean, before we move any further, I'd just like to welcome everyone that's tuned in today. Please like, subscribe, share, and leave your comments below. I can see there's already comments coming through. I've got this one from Sean Snow. Sanchez is a new man. He was brilliant. I still want to ship Dyer. The problem is both of them were brilliant. But
I agree.
We don't want to get too carried away, because next week they could both be rubbish against Wolves. So
he makes up a good point though. If you had to, because I don't think both of them are definitely going to. I don't think Dyer is ever going to leave Tottenham. But if one of them were to go, who would you rather give the chance to? Who would you rather see stay and potentially become a centre back for us, or potentially get their reputation back from us?
Yeah. See, for me, we paid a lot of money for Sanchez. 40, was it
42.5 or something like that?
42.5 million pounds. Yeah. And when he came with one of the best young centre backs at that time. He's not had the best of last couple of seasons, but again, I think last season I put it down to Poch, and it was the whole team. If he's got someone like Romero next to him, it's that South American combination as well, because Brazilian and Argentinian and Colombian. So that straight away, you've got that South American combination. So out of the two, I think ship Dyer and keep Sanchez. That's me personally.
I think I agree. Well, we've literally got, if you can see this comment, Romero is in the chat, and he said that Sanchez and Romero are similar type of players. And I actually agree with that. I think that Sanchez and Romero are quite similar in the sense that they're both quite aggressive. But I think that Sanchez is a lot more rash and reckless. And I think that he can be sort of, the system can help Sanchez. If you accommodate a system to sort of help Sanchez and put players around him that are going to sort of stop him being exposed to his rash attitude and his rash behavior, then I think that he'll probably look a lot better than he did the past couple of seasons. It's just for me, and again, I always say this before I say things like this. I don't want to think of players like this, and I don't like to look at players like this, but the value of Sanchez is a lot higher than Dyer. And I think that if you're wanting to rebuild and try and find more players and sign more players, with obviously the funds needing to be increased, you're going to want to be able to cash in on your asset a lot more than Dyer. So I'd probably be reluctant to let Sanchez go over Dyer, but being smart and looking at their value of both players and how much you can get and how much you could work with off those players, I think that you probably want Sanchez to probably go just for the money, and then you can bring in somebody who's of equal or better quality than him. But that's only because he's worth more. Like you said, they both played just as good in the game on Sunday, and they both deserve a second chance against Wolves as well. So yeah, exactly.
I mean, like Pau Torres is likely not going to happen, but it's someone we link with. There's a lot of gossip about him, and I just thought I'd throw him in there. He's probably not going to come to us, but you know what? If he wants Champions League football, then good luck to him.
So you should wait a year. You never know what can happen to us, mate.
This is it, you know. Moving on to my next one, and I have got Nathan Nandez. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. I didn't know who he was. I saw the links yesterday. I had to Google him. I've seen some video footage of him, and he does look quite decent on the ball. He's a nice right midfielder, right-footed, 5'6", 25 years old, 19.8 million. What do you make of him, or have you seen any footage?
Now, he's one of the players I'm not going to front. I'd never heard of Nathan Nandez. Yeah. I didn't really know anything about him, to be honest. I've probably seen him a couple of times when I'd watched Cagliari play, but I've not seen him. But after watching a few videos of him, I tried to find a full game, because I like to watch full games of players to really see the quality of them and what they do off the pitch. But I was able to see quite a bit of football from him and sort of look at his stats. And he really reminds me, if you want me to give you a Premier League example, I've very much resemble him to John McGinn in terms of that smaller, more robust pit bull-like players. I think people call them that, where they would sort of just be a problem and a menace in that middle. We're always going to work hard, always going to get stuck in, always going to press. Not going to do that. But at the end of the day, you have to think: is that what we need? Is that a priority position? Is he going to have a similar role to somebody like Skip? I'd probably say so. So I'm not saying he's not a great player. I think he's a decent little player. He works extremely hard, which is something that I think Nuno's going to prioritize over a lot of things, over especially probably even technical ability. I think if you're going to work hard, like look at Ndombele. It's a perfect example. Yeah. He technically is 100 times better than Nahita 100%. Nandez, but Nahita Nandez, from what I've seen, is an extremely hard worker. And at the end of the day, when you're playing the way that we play, where you're having to transition into attack so quickly, you're going to need somebody to sort of mop up and be able to run the end of the pitch just in the same amount of time. So for me, I think he would suit our team. I just don't think it's a priority. I don't think that we need to spend. I think it's something like £25 million around there that we'd be looking to spend. I just don't think that's needed at the moment, especially when we haven't even got rid of players like Winks and Sissoko as well. So I think he's a good player, but I just think that we need to hold off before we sign him. Just I think there's other centre mids that we could probably get that are probably much better in terms of different to our players that we've got now. Yeah,
you know, the footage I saw of him on YouTube, I thought he personally I thought he was a bit too one-dimensional. Every clip I've seen is him just running down the right, cutting in, running down the right, cutting in. I've also read about his shots and stuff like that. I've heard a lot of people have said he needs to practice his shooting ability. So that's straight away for me. I thought that's another Bergwijn here. He's got the ability to run forward, beat people at pace, get the crosses in. But when he's going to come to that crucial moment like yesterday when he went through one-on-one, he's not going to be able to finish. But there's a lot of good stuff people have said about him. I mean, last season, 34 appearances. Again, only 2 goals and 3 assists. So if he's a right midfielder, I think that's not enough. He needs to do a lot more than that.
I think if we bring him as a right midfielder, then I'm completely against this because I don't think he would be a suitable right midfielder. I want somebody more similar to like a Noni Madueke, somebody obviously we'll talk about the link that we've got here, but also someone like an Ismail Assar, someone like that who's a little bit more of a 1v1 beater who can beat his man, a lot of pace. That's what I see in a right wing. For me, he'd be a perfect centre mid partner to maybe a Højbjerg or a Skip, but yeah, definitely not on the right wing. I'd say he'd definitely be a centre mid if we bring him in.
Yeah, that's it. Okay, so we will now move on to the main focus of today's transfer show. And I watched this guy yesterday. Oh my word. Honestly, he was terrorizing West Ham. And on his day, Alan Saint-Maximin of Newcastle United, left winger, right footed, he's only 5'6" at 24 years old.
Young.
Mate, he is blistering. Did you see their first goal?
The header where he beat the man and then popped it in the box.
He beat
Declan. It was Declan Rice he beat.
100 million rated Declan Rice. He took him to the corner and back 15, 20 times. And he just made him look like he was not there. And of Declan Rice's ability and quality, for someone to do that, man. And then the rest of the game, I think, and we've got this thing about, well, I was going to say about buying players from Newcastle that turned out to be good, but Sissoko is a hit and miss.
I'm not going to lie to you. When Sissoko joined, I was over the moon because the last game I saw him do was beat us. He was involved in that 5-1 at the end of the season. Right. So I was like, give us one of their best players. But absolutely. You can see he's a player. Like at the end of the day, I am a sucker for wingers like him. And the reason why I wouldn't be that mad if we didn't get him because there's very, very similar wingers out there. But the main thing about him is he's proven himself in the Premier League. And I know that's quite a cliche to say, but playing on the wing, should I say, is one thing that you need to sort of confirm that you can do in the Premier League because the defense is different. It's a lot more intense. It's a lot more. The defenders are a lot more high quality, to be fair. So I would say that I think it was. Now I'm going to be really annoyed that I'm not going to know this. I believe it was either Nice or Rennes that he used to play for. I believe it was Nice. Let me double check because I hate getting things like this wrong. But I believe it was Nice. I want to say Nice, but. I was just saying when you're playing for teams like Nice, even Newcastle, it's one of those where you're given the ball and you can do what you want because you're the main guy. It's similar to Ismail Assar, and that's why I think that those two players are very similar. I think if you put him in our team, he's going to have to be a lot more disciplined and choose when to run. Again, another example is Adama Traore. They are amazing. They can do their job. They'll beat their man. But it's that decision making at the end. That's what separates a good winger from a great winger. Because a lot of players are fast. A lot of players will be able to beat their man just with their pace alone. But it's when you get into that final third, or when you're playing against teams who are able to suss you out and able to defend against you, you have to be able to actually make smarter decisions, maybe make a pass, wait for a player to run on. And I think that he, with the right coach, maybe Nuno's a guy. I always thought if he went to Man City, Saint-Maximin would be very similar to Sterling. Players like that with the right coach, they can turn out to be incredible wingers. And Nuno's got a history with that. I mean, look at Neto, look at Podence, look at those players. They were good wingers, but he turned them into very, very effective wingers. So I would 100,000% welcome Alan Saint-Maximin. Whether Newcastle sell, I think that's down to the season that he has and also the season that they have, because I don't know. Could you tell me what his contract length is?
Yeah, I can. So it's 27 million. Is June 2026.
So he's 5 years on that contract. So you're going to be paying, if he has a great season, you're paying 50, 60 million, aren't you? You're going to be paying double that price. But again, if he puts up numbers, any sort of numbers that resemble players, I'm trying to think of players who, like Hazard, for example, if he can improve his dribbling and because his dribbling numbers are very, very ridiculous. Hazard's numbers are amazing. And if he can improve his dribbling and sort of become a finisher and a creator, he will be amazing. He will be absolutely fantastic. He won't be on Hazard's level because Hazard for me is one of the greatest wingers in the Premier League. But that's the sort of player I can find him being at, where he will beat his man every single time. Because like you said, in that Newcastle game, he was ghosting past players like it was nothing. So I am all here for this. I don't know what you think of him, but I'm definitely all here for this.
I already said to you at the beginning, I watched him yesterday. I've seen him a lot, right? And every time he got the ball, I was literally on the edge of my seat because he runs and he terrorizes people. And you can see the defenders are backing away because they don't know if he's going to go left, right. Is he going to go through the middle? And I'm so glad you're on today because Sam was on Friday and every single player that I said to him, no.
I will actually tell you this. I know Sam is a big fan of Alan Saint-Maximin because he was raving about him last season when he joined from Nice. He was going on about him because I knew him from Nice. I'd seen him. You know what it was from Nice that I knew him from, and this is really bad. But he used to wear the Gucci headband when he was in Nice, and he obviously can't wear it now. So he was a big cult hero on football Twitter, and everybody used to see him wear the Gucci headband. So I had a knowledge of him, and he was always like, he reminds me again of Moussa Diaby, who plays at Leverkusen. There's a lot of wingers like him, but I just wanted to ask you a question about a right winger. The only issue I have with him is that he's a right-footed left winger, and I'd probably say that he'd probably be playing on the right side. Do you prefer inverted wingers, or do you prefer a traditional winger who's going to be able to beat a man and, like he did, put the ball in the box? Because I think that we've got a chance to be playing two really old-school inverted wingers in Brian Hill on the left and Saint-Maximin on the right. And then you could have players bombing on in front around them, or you could have the centre mids coming in through the middle, and they obviously they play out wide. So I don't know what you think. I think we should be looking for a left-footed right winger, but I would definitely welcome Alan Saint-Maximin.
Before I answer that question, right, I just want to, I've got a few fans of him. So basically I've got Sean Snow here. Oh my God, he's a beast, correct? Good evening to David Woodford. Definitely would have him. I've got Sean again saying if we gave newcomer of the year in the Premier League, Maximin all over would win it. So there's a lot of people, out here that's saying yes. Look, Mike Hotspur Hustler. Good evening, Mr. Mike Hotspur Hustler. Hope you're well. Here.
He should be here with us.
He shouldn't he? He's saying yes to Maxim as well. We've got Pipe 71, inverted wingers narrow the pitch.
I hear that. But at the same time, I think that if we had inverted wingers, I do agree with that. But if we did have inverted wingers, you've got somebody like Reguilon on the left, and if we can sign a right wing back, which we have been linked with a couple, I know that we've got a certain player that we've been linked with called Dodo, who's a right back. If we can bring in a right back who will bomb on, not like Tanganga, not like Doherty, or like Doherty used to do, then I think inverted wingers can work. But you're right in what you're saying. You need to have those flying wing backs for that to be able to work.
Because Morris is a right winger, and left-footed, and he loves coming in on the left. Yeah, so I think it just depends on the type of manager you've got and the type of players that manager wants them to play, the formation and the system. And I think
the
it
best
could work.
example, sorry to interrupt, the best example
Yeah,
I use is Liverpool and Jurgen Klopp. Both his wingers are inverted. They play slightly closer to Firmino, and then they get the whip from Robertson and Trent. So
Exactly.
it works. You just have to accommodate, obviously, other positions to cover the space.
Yeah.
But I think Nuno's tactically going to have that in the bag. He seemed to be able to. He seemed to be able to tactically handle Pep Guardiola. So he seems to have a knowledge on what he wants, and I think that he will probably go for. I think he'll go for a right winger that's probably right-footed because I think that we've got a left-footed potential right winger in Bryan Hill. I think he could play on the right if so. So I think we'll probably go for a right-footed player.
I'm going to throw one out now to you, Darius, and to everyone watching. Please leave your comments on this question. If Daniel Levy and Paratici said to you now, I'm going to buy one player, your choices are Ismail Yassar, Maximin, and who was the other one I said? Oh, Adama Traore. Who would it be? So please.
I want to hear that as well. Put that in the comments, everyone. I really want to hear that.
So once again, you've got a blank checkbook. You've got one player out of Ismail Yassar of Watford, Maximin of Newcastle, and Adama Traore from Wolves. Who you buying? Come on, people. Let's see.
My personal answer, if you want it in order, Sarr, Saint-Maximin, Traore. That'd be my order.
Wow.
I think Sarr is going to have, mark my words, in this season. I think Watford aren't going to have a good season, but I think Sarr's going to have a great season this season because everything goes through him. In that Watford game that they played, he was all over that team. Who did they play Watford? I can't remember now. Aston Villa. He was all over Aston Villa. So yeah. I think Sarr's going to have a very, very good season. Yeah.
Have we got any people? Have we got people coming in?
We got Chris in. Big up Chris. Big up Chris.
Oh, big up Chris. Yeah. That's a message for you, Darius. Okay, so we've got one for Maximum. But keep leaving your comments, and on the next show on Friday, hopefully we'll have an answer. And I might even put a poll up on at Paxton Road TV and get the guys to do a poll, and let's see what happens later until Friday and see what happens. So that's the main man sorted. Next on my list. Again, the next two, I'm not going to lie to you. I never heard of him before, but
one of them I did. One of them I did, and this is the one that I did know about.
Yacine Adley, 21 years old, Bordeaux attacking midfielder, right foot, 6'1", 21 years old. You know who he looks like? You know, Rabiot. He looks a bit like him
from Juventus and ex-PSG. Yes,
he does look like him. Last season, 36 appearances, 2 goals, 5 assists. I think we were linked with him a couple of days ago. 21 years old, 8 million. And I'm not going to lie, I've not seen much of him. I'm not going
to lie to you. I remember hearing about Yacine Adley quite a while ago. I think he's linked with AC Milan as well. And AC Milan have got a very good recruitment policy at the moment. They've been signing some pretty decent players recently. So I think that Yacine Adley, for the price and the age that he is, he's a very, very good little player, you know, honestly. And the thing that he would bring that we've missed is Eriksen's threaded balls. When I watch Yacine Adley, and I've seen him a couple of times, his eye for a threaded pass is very, very similar to Eriksen, where he will look up and that's the first thing he wants to do is try and thread the ball right through the lines. And I think that's what we've missed significantly. I know Ndombele's got that in him, but again, he's yet to show me that he can consistently play on a regular basis. He's yet to show me that he can play 90 on a regular basis. So Yacine Adley at 21, 2 years left on his deal, 6'1" as well. For a number 10 to be 6'1", you know that his presence is going to be quite large. Even if he was to come into the Premier League, I think he'd be able to, you know, hold himself in that middle of the pitch. But yeah, for me, it's his height and his creativity that really stand out. When you've got a big lad like that who's nimble on his feet, he's a very good dribbler as well, quite quick on the ball, can thread a ball, and I think his long range distribution is very good as well. All those things, £8 million, 21 years old, can only get better. Sort of those deals, it's just you don't really want to look at and think, why would we miss out on this opportunity if he becomes a worldie? You never know, he could be or he could not. But if you're spending €8 million or £8 million on him and he doesn't work out, you're probably going to be able to make a profit. Like, let's be honest, if he doesn't work out and you have to sell him, if you sell him for 15, 20 million pounds and he flops, and you still made a profit, you know what I mean? So these sort of players, I just think that Milenkovic is another example. You just take that opportunity, you sign them, you see how they go, and if worse comes to worse, they're young, they'll keep their value, and you can move them on. So Yacine Adley, he's a baller. He's definitely a good player, and I think he will be a good signing for us.
I think I read. Yeah, go on.
I was just going to say it's what we need as well. He's a number 10, which I think that we desperately need a number 10 to help with Ali, because I don't think Ali's going to play number 10 this season at all.
No, you know what? I think I was reading yesterday, and I might be wrong, but I'm sure I'm 99%. Robert Perez was liking him, and he was saying that this guy is an absolutely quality player. And he also said he reminded him of I forgot the name of the player he reminded him of, but he's saying he's very technical. He's gifted. I'm trying to
think. It's a good example. I can't carry on. I'm just trying to think of a player that.
What do you call it? That's what he was saying yesterday, that he's a really good player. And good evening to Grandpa Stevens. He's just, what did he say? Oh, there he is. Are we going to replace Ali with Adley?
I hope we do, to be honest. I hope we do. Like I said, Ali had another great game, but
he did.
Again, Ali's in that same category for me as Davinson Sanchez, where these players still have quite a lot of value on them. And if you can get 40 million for Dele Alli and replace that with potential players who are going to do a lot more. But again, I'm going to give Ali his time because he's proven to me that he's had a decent game. But yeah, I can't really think of a player that I can think of that's similar to Yassine Adley, where he's kind of a taller, more creative.
Yeah.
No, I'm lost. I'm actually lost. I'll try and see if I can find any. But yeah, from what I've seen from him, he's got everything to do well in the Premier League. And I think that being the height that he is, I think that's so important. And just being skillful and having an eye for a pass is going to be good if he is going to come to Spurs. And like you said, AC Milan are linked to him. So
exactly,
it's good sign. It's good sign.
I think AC Milan, the problem I hear is money. They didn't offer as much as what Bordeaux want for him. So and
he's only got 2 years left on his deal though. So this is the most money they're going to get will be this summer. So
absolutely. I mean, they got Spurs 72 says reminded him of Pirlo. I don't know.
I think Pirlo was less robust than him. I think Adley's a better dribbler. I think he's quicker, probably because he's younger. But Pirlo, in terms of his distribution and his long range passing, I think Pirlo's way better. But he's similar to that because he was hitting long balls like it was nothing. Yassine Adley. So I semi agree with that. I can see the comparison.
Yeah, exactly. Pipe 71 is saying we need another striker. We do need another striker, but the problem is who are we going to get?
Give me Vlahovic. Give me Vlahovic. Well, we keep being linked with him. I'm seeing it.
The last I've heard today is Martinez is back on the agenda, and apparently we've offered, somebody put it on there, we've offered X amount of money for Vlahovic and over X amount of years with installments and bonuses and that. And they reckon that is more and more likely imminent than Martinez. So
yeah, and the same. I'd rather Vlahovic as well because Kane. If Kane goes, which is inevitable either this year or next year, Vlahovic is much more of a similar comparison to Kane, and 100%. You can still probably get in another striker next season. I think Vlahovic is going to explode again this year, and people keep saying I know we should be talking about him because he's not on part of a thing, but people keep saying he scored only 21 goals in one time this season. He's had one good season, but I think if you let him have another great season, which I think he will, his value is going to double, and Fiorentina will give him that contract that they're trying to get him to sign, and a big club will go for him, and we'll be like punching the wall thinking Kane's left now. We had a perfect Kane replacement, and now he's gone off to Juve, or now he's gone off to somewhere else. So I just think take the risk, spend the 60 million. If you're going to spend 60 million on Lautaro Martinez, who I don't think will be that good in the Premier League anyway, go spend the money on Vlahovic, and let's see what you can do. But yeah, we're not meant to be talking about him, but I think that he definitely should come in.
It's like you're saying, the noise have been made. Where it's one of them where we're linked to him, but it's not going away. It keeps coming back and back and back, and every other day.
He's so resemblant of Harry Kane, isn't he? He's just very similar to Harry Kane.
But this is going to be an interesting one. We'll have to keep an eye on that one. So hopefully, like I keep saying, every Friday, every Monday, we're going to have a good news. We're going to buy a striker, but eventually, at some point, it's going to happen. And
I agree with Pipes, by the way. I agree with Pipes' comment saying that he is much more suitable for the Prem, and his potential, I think, is big. I think Lautaro Martinez is wasteful, more wasteful than Vlahovic. I think that you'll give him he has about 5-6 shots a game, Lautaro Martinez, and he'll only score one of them. So you need to give him a lot of shots for him to be able to score. But I think Vlahovic will be the one. I agree with Pipes, and I agree with you on that one.
He's had this experience in European football. I know South American football is decent, but it's not as intense, and it's not as, you don't get as many big games as you do in the European League. So Vlahovic, he's probably getting all that younger experience at clubs, whereas
because
Martinez,
I think Lautaro joined Inter from I can't remember when he joined Inter, but he's not been at Inter for too long. I believe.
no.
And he's got two. I think he's only 2 years older than Vlahovic, so I guess you go for the younger one, don't you? But Lautaro is a lot more. He's a lot more proven, but I think Vlahovic. I think Vlahovic.
I think so, 100%. Right. Moving on to my last player. This is Jose Rudolfo Perez Ribeiro, aka
more
Dodo.
Finally finished. Any more to say? I'm going to call him Dodo. I
think everyone calls him Dodo. So he's 22 years old, a Brazilian, plays for Shakhtar Donetsk, right back, right foot, 5'4", Brazilian. There's a lot of noise apparently, and we've gone in for him in the last couple of days, and it looks intense. And I think a bid has been lodged, but we're waiting. Paratic is on the case. Last season, 34 appearances, 2 goals, 7 assists, and 3 yellow cards. Excuse the picture, looks like a schoolboy picture, but I couldn't find any pictures of him, so that was the best picture. And then you mentioned him earlier, didn't you? You did mention him.
Yeah, slightly about our right back position. I just think that I'm not gonna front. I don't like lying. I've never heard of the guy. I like Shakhtar Donetsk, but I can't remember Dodo being a massive part of Shakhtar Donetsk. I like Mana Solomon from Shakhtar. He's a right winger. But anyway, I think that the way Dodo plays, again, I did a bit of research, tried to find a full game, tried to look at his highlights, tried to look at his stats. He's a typical right back or right wing back who's gonna get bomb on behind the player. We were literally saying that before the stream came on.
We was
literally, but carrying on. Like he's your typical right wing back who's going to bomb on behind. I think he's got a good eye for a low cross into the box. He's very small, but he's very quick. And I probably say that he's probably similar to Tariq Lamptey in that sense. Then where I'm not sure that his defensive quality is as good as Tariq Lamptey, but going forward he's better. And I think he's got the same amount of pace. And I think you probably see a similar defensive quality in him, but it's the only concern I have with Dodo. Again, right backs are quite hard to come by. Quality right backs are quite hard to come by. Once you see a right back of quality, they normally get snapped up and then it's done for. So getting him, 22 years old, 5'4" is the only issue I have. The assist really impressed me. That's what I want to see from a right back. I definitely want to see creativity. I know a lot of people have been calling for Tanganga to be our starting right back. I partly disagree with that. I think that he should be our big game right back where you play your Cities, you play your Chelseas, you play your Uniteds. He's a right back for those sort of games. When you're playing teams like Wolves, not even Wolves, but Burnley's, Crystal Palace's, Watford's, teams that are going to let you attack. I don't think Tanganga's got the attacking quality to sort of be a presence in the final third. So I would rather I would rather have a right back option better than Doherty, who can attack that right wing, who can provide help for that right winger, and just basically be another attacking option for us and give us a few goal contributions that we're gonna need to get from obviously Bale's absence. So Dodo, I think obviously I don't know what he's gonna be like in the Premier League. He looks like a decent little right back, but the height may be an issue. He's obviously not going to win any aerial duels, and if you put him up against a big striker or a left winger who's got a lot of presence, then he might struggle. But again, we really want to get a right back. I think we really need to get a right back, and we've been linked with Tomiyasu, but again he similarly links, or he's similar to Tanganga in his skill set, where they're not very attacking right backs. They're very defensively solid right backs and centre backs. So
I think what it is with Spurs is they like small right-sided right backs, because we've had Aurier, we've had what's his name, Kyle Walker-Peters.
Trippier wasn't that tall either. I think Walker was probably the biggest presence in our right back position.
Yes. That's it. And then I think Paramount wasn't he a right back? Wasn't he? He's quite tall, wasn't he?
Yeah.
No, Paramount. Yeah. We're linked with Aaron's. He's not that tall.
He's very small. Yeah, he's a quick.
Exactly. Yeah. Lamptey. So I don't know. I mean, after yesterday's performance, like you're saying, Tanganga, is he going to be as much concentrating now on getting a right back, or is he thinking, you know what, I found my ideal right back? But I totally agree with what you're saying. If you want to do that, then you play Tanganga in the big games, and then you might get some. But then again, is someone going to come in knowing that I'm only not going to play the big games as a second fiddle kind of thing? You see what I mean?
But then again, I understand that point. But then again, you're going to be playing more smaller games than big games, aren't you? You're only going to play the big six. the big six, including Leicester, 12 times in a season. The rest of the teams, you should, in my opinion, I know you've got your Villas and you've got your Evertons and Wolves, who are very good teams, but in my opinion, the quality of our team suggests that we should be attacking all the time and really going for those teams and choking them out. So I agree with what you're saying. A lot of players will probably see that and think, I want to be playing in the big games. But at the same time, you're going to have a lot of minutes. Like there's the UECL, there's the FA Cup, there's a Carabao Cup, there's a Premier League. So you're going to have a lot of time to play games. I 100%. Think you just have to make sure you bring in the right player and don't sort of clash in skill sets, like I said. So I think that the main priority, like I said, is somebody who's similar to Dodo and who will be an attacking right back, because Doherty, for me, don't think he's going to actually. I thought Nuno coming back would like completely change him and give him a new lease of life, but now judging on that, don't think that's going to happen. So yeah, I think the sort of the play that we're looking at, similar to Dodo, is the one, but he might not be necessarily the one to go for. And I know Pipe said in the comments that we were linked with Lamptey. I think Lamptey would be probably a perfect choice, but Brighton aren't going to sell Lamptey now. They've sold White, and they could potentially sell other players as well. I don't think Lamptey's a priority for them to sell. So we'll see. I
don't think, to be honest, I totally agree with Pipes. Lamptey's gone quiet completely. There's nothing, I've not heard anything about Lamptey in the last week. Is he injured? I've just been informed.
Yeah, he is injured.
My young reporter here that is injured. So there you
go. Inside
source. Yeah. But yes, Darius, today's been very fruitful. At least I've got your insight on some of these players, and we've agreed on some of them. The people that are watching as well, they've agreed on one or two players. So thank you very much. Thank you everyone for joining in. You're a very busy man, Darius. So just let people know where they're going to find you, because you're everywhere.
I am at the moment. You obviously see me on Paxton Road all the time. This is the home. This is the main channel for me. But hopefully, like I said, in the future, I'll be doing a few watch-alongs on Matt Hayes' channel for our Tottenham games. And then Thursdays, I should be on the Irish Hotspurs channel as well. And you can always follow me on Twitter as well, at Darius3K. So same name as below. So yeah, just you're probably going to see me. If you're a Tottenham fan, you're probably going to see me everywhere. And I apologize, or you might be over the moon for that, depending on how you feel. But honestly, I couldn't care less. So hopefully you like me. But yeah, you'll see me on a few channels. And obviously you'll see me with Sid and Sam and Mike and Jody and everybody on Paxton Road. So yeah, make sure you subscribe and make sure you like this video as well, because Sid says top details.
This is going on to my next one. Please like, subscribe, share, and leave your comments below. A lot of people have been leaving their comments below. Thank you very much for that. Thank you everyone for tuning in as well. We will get back to as many comments as we can on the next show. Like I said, don't forget the poll that we're going to do out of the three: Ismail Yassar, Adama Traore, and Maximin. Who would you have if you was to buy one player? And hopefully on Friday, when we talk about more transfers, hopefully I'll have another guest with me. So look out for all the other shows this week. And it's goodbye from me. And it's goodbye from Darius. Thank you very much.